Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Okay, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to somebody else who may like it as well. Also, if you have time, please drop us a comment in the comment section. Now, I was talking to a woman, and this is very interesting. This woman is my age, just a few years older than me, and she has two grown children. One of them never left home and is working, and the other one wants to come back home. They're both single, the kids, and don't have any children of their own yet. And one's a boy, the one that never left is a boy, and the other one is a girl. And she said to me that she feels like a failure because she expected her children to go out there and seize the world. You know, all of us look at our baby, our cute little baby, and think about all the great things they're going to do when they grow up. And we see all their positive qualities and how well they speak and how intelligent they are and how creative and imaginative they are. My daughter's a Scorpio. I think she's a fucking genius. Like her imagination, she's a Scorpio with an Aquarius moon and a Gemini rising. So to me, she's like, the most creative, intelligent thing on the planet, always has been. And all of us look at our kids that way, and we see all the greatness and what they can accomplish, and we expect them to go out there and grab life by the balls, and become the greatest whatever they want in the world, So when they're 25, 26, 30, and they're coming back home, or they never left home, and they're doing something with their life, or they're not doing anything with their life, it becomes like, where did I go wrong? As a mother, as a father, you start to look at yourself like, what did I not teach you? What did I not instill upon you? What did I not encourage that you're still here? Or that you're coming back here, And so I understood what the mother was saying. She was saying she felt like, her kid was going to go out there and be the next president of the United States. And here he is on the couch eating mac and cheese at 2 a.m., And it's just like, this is not what I wanted for my baby, And I totally get that because my daughter is a genius, but she lives with me and she doesn't do enough genius stuff that I want her to do. I want her to take over the world, So I sit there and I look and I'm like, I totally get what this mother is saying. But the thing about it is that your children, as wonderful and amazing as they are, they have to go through their own learning process. They have to find themselves on their own, and you telling them how wonderful they are and pointing out all the trophies that they won in first grade is not what is going to help them. They have to figure out for themselves what it is they're going to do for themselves. So I don't think it's wrong for your grown children to live with you if they coming back home or never left home. I don't think that's wrong, because I think there's some young people, especially in this generation, because I think in this generation some young people are not ready for that level of independence. I think that a lot of us gave our kids what we didn't have, and in the process of us doing that, we did give them a lot of cool stuff, but we didn't train them to be as independent as we were. That's the flip of that. Being a child who doesn't have very much and wanting to build, wanting to create, having that motivation, and being a child who really got everything that you wanted are two different vibrations. So one child is hungry to be independent, and the other child is like chilling and trying to find themselves, and do their thing. So it always seemed unusual to me when I saw my friends or my own child still at home, because I'm like, I left home at 17. I couldn't wait to get out the house. But I look back and I'm like, but me and my daughter have a great relationship. Me and my mom didn't have a great relationship. So getting out of the house for me was like, something that I had to do. But as far as she's concerned, she doesn't really have to. She could, maybe, if she want to, but I'm not really saying you have to leave here. I would never do that because I feel like they should leave the house when they're ready. This is my thing about grown children living with you. As long as they're respecting your house and they're helping out the way an adult should, then I say let them stay. And if they need that, if they need mommy a little longer in that kind of a way, the relationship is of course different because they're adults. And that's one thing that you will struggle with is treating them like adults while they're still your baby. That's going to be a thing. But as long as they're respecting your home, they're not, bringing in loud, people or staying up all hours of the night or, they're respecting your space. They're respecting your home. They're keeping their space clean. They're helping out with, the chores, whatever the case is. Maybe in some cases they're working and giving you money, or maybe you just have them saving their money. Whatever the case is, as long as they're respecting whatever the agreement is between the two of you, I say it's fine. Let them stay. That's just the times that we're in. I was talking to one of my students because you guys know I teach English, and I teach English to Koreans. They're in Korea. And when I talk to them on the phone, one of the things we do is discuss like our lives. Sometimes we do something called free talking. So we discuss our lives. And many of them are still living at home. It's common in their society to stay home until you get married. And if you don't get married, they don't leave home because it doesn't make sense to them to have an extra expense when you don't need to. If you get a job, you can put that money into your home with your family. So a lot of cultures do that. It's just the American culture, to my knowledge, the only one that I have studied, that we get this idea we have to get out there. We have to move out at 18, Now I could see if you have an unhappy situation, moving out quickly. But if you don't, a lot of people are opting now to stay home. And I think there's nothing wrong with it as long as they're respecting the home. My Korean students tell me, and they're in their 30s, and many of them still live at home. And like I said, until they get married, that's what they do. And the ones who didn't get married, I have one student, she's 45. She still lives at home. So they just stay at home and pool their money together. And lots of cultures do this, and it's really smart. It's a very intelligent thing to do. But they're also working, they've been to college, like they're living their lives, but they just live at home. And they, again, learn how to have mutual respect for each other, and it works out. So if your grown children are home or are coming home, don't see yourself as a failure. See it as the changing of times, number one, and ask yourself, are they respecting your home? If they're doing that, I would encourage them to have a life, encourage them to do things, encourage them to, hopefully they're working or going to school. I would encourage those kinds of things as best that I could. But like I said, as long as they're respecting the home, I would let them stay. Now, if they were disrespecting me, smoking cigarettes and, eating up my food and cussing me out and, drinking my liquor, don't touch my vodka, if they're acting crazy, then that's a different conversation. Because at that point, they're taking advantage of you, and you need to you need to tap into some tough love. Because if they're acting out, then they need to get out. That's one thing I will say definitely. If your grown children are acting out, then they need to go out on their own. That's a sign. That's a sign that they need their independence, and they need to get their money together and go out. And as a parent, I would give them a time frame. I might even help them get an efficiency or something like that. But it's time for you to get out. A good friend of mine went through that with her children. And she actually helped them get an apartment and paid for the apartment because she said that it was easier for her to spend that money every month than it would be to have them in the house with her and her husband, who had gotten used to the peace and quiet because they had been away at college. So she was like, it was much better for her to have that peace of mind, to pay that money and not have to worry about her sons, because they were twins, had her sons in the house driving her crazy, drinking beers, being loud, doing all that kind of stuff that normal boys their age do. So, like I said before, that's a sign that you need your independence. And in her case, and I thought was intelligent, she helped with that process to make her life easier. And everything worked out great. They ended up on their own and they're fine. But the point of the matter is that as long as they're showing that kind of rambunctious behavior, that's showing they need independence. But if they can respect your home and you guys can get along well, they can stay. So don't feel like you're a failure. This is a sign of the times. And like I said, other cultures do it all the time and it's economically pretty sound. So if your kids are living there, and remember the other flip of this before I go is you have to be okay with it as their parent. If you're not okay with them living with you, if you don't want them there, or if you feel some type of way, you need to be honest with yourself about that. And maybe like this mother, you might need to help them move along a bit, okay? So be honest with yourself about that aspect as well. Maybe this is just not what you want at this point in your life. You've raised your children and you want your own place. I feel you, So if that's really what you want, because for me, I don't mind. It's not like, I can't do anything that I'm going to do anyway, So if you mind and that's not what you want, then you need to help them move along. Like my friend who got them the apartment, or another friend who helped her daughter find a job so she could afford the efficiency. Maybe you got to help them a little bit, if that's really not what you want. But if they're respectful and you don't mind and you let them stay home, fine. Don't feel bad about that. This is something, this is part of their learning journey. And it's going to be different from your journey. Remember, I left home at 17. My journey is much different than hers. And that's okay. Everybody's journey is a little bit different or a lot different. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So if you would like to get a reading done, please email me and I will hook you up. Likewise, all my information is underneath this video if you want to get in touch with me. Gifts are my love language, so my Amazon wish list is underneath this video along with my PayPal. And my Patreon page is underneath this video as well. If you would like to become a patron, for as little as $5 a month, you become a patron and you get access to the witch trials every Saturday or whatever day that I actually release them, because I'm thinking about releasing the witch trials earlier in the week. I'll tell you guys about that later in the week. But you get access to them once a week. So come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.